Ravens have just gone ahead on a touchdown pass by
Lamar Jackson is what Felger was going to say. A touchdown pass from Lamar Jackson to Mark Andrews, the tight end. Looks like the Ravens are about to go up 31-20 in what was billed as the biggest test of the year for the New England Patriots and has been exactly that. Early on in the game, obviously, Ravens drove the ball right down the Patriots' throat, and then turnovers came into play for both teams, actually. Cyrus Jones with a gift muff on a punt, something we've seen before if you followed the Patriots when he was a second-round pick with the team. And then Julian Edelman's fumble that was returned 70 yards for a touchdown. Now we have a missed PAT. That's Justin Tucker's first miss of the year. So the Patriots are contagious in the kicking game. Hi, Felge, you're back. Good.
What's up, Andy? How you doing? That extra point got that just like kick we had.
Right over the upright. They raised the uprights because of that. Remember, they added the 10 feet of pipe or whatever.
So you all can join us later.
Well, as I was saying, obviously turnovers have been huge for this game. Cyrus Jones is still Cyrus Jones, same guy we saw. Muffington, not Clampington as he goes by on social media. But this was a test, and I thought, early on, they just got absolutely pushed around. I joked, if this were an NBA game, there was at one point there, Bill needed to go for the quick 20-second timeout because they were getting pushed around, and then all of a sudden, I give Josh McDaniels credit. I thought going up-tempo offensively clearly gave the Ravens some issues defensively, although I also think it may have played a role in that Julian Edelman fumble. He looked like he was absolutely gassed while he was fighting for yards. But we got what we wanted, right? This is it's sort of like a Patriots-Ravens playoff game that we've seen in the past, a dogfight.
I've been able to tonight.
Yep. And Jackson hasn't been perfect. He's made mistakes. How many times has he hit the back of his offensive lineman in the head or a defensive lineman in the face? He throws that little sidearm half throw Phillip Rivers thing. But yeah, this is what they do. They're a college offense. They run the ball 200 yards a game. They're well on their way to a 200-yard rushing attack. And then he makes just enough throws. But that's not supposed to be, I think we can maybe put to rest some of those greatest defense in NFL history that we're watching, the boogeymen. Maybe the boogeymen were reading their press clippings. Maybe that's why Dante Hightower was having a conniption fit on the sideline at one point when they were getting their ass kicked. But this is what we wanted. We wanted to see a test, and you got a test unless you're a Patriots fan and you're looking down the barrel of first loss of the season.
Do you believe the Patriots defense is getting exposed here? Yeah, commenter Steven says, no, they're just losing to a faster team. The Pats are senior citizens out there on D.
Fixated on Lamar
Baltimore
Jackson.
is clearly faster.
Mark Ingram is just a traditional running back who's running it down your throat to the tune of 100 and whatever yards in the third quarter, just like Nick Chubb did, only Mark Ingram didn't fumble on the end of his long run. He fumbled on a different drive. But this run defense thing, this goes back to that Frank Gore game. Their run defense has been a little iffy all year.
Okay. And what about defending
there's
Jackson?
Only so much you can do.
Is that just a fluke,
there's been plays
Andy? Is that just something you've never seen before, or is there something fundamental?
The touchdown run that looks so easy, sneaky big play by the running back there. He takes the fake and then follows through after the fake and knocks Jamie Collins on his ass. Baltimore's a pretty good football team you're seeing. They're proving, by the way, a lot of people said they had a soft schedule other than the win in Seattle, and a lot of people didn't even give them credit for that. They're proving they're a pretty good football team. He looks
so
like
they
he's
start
working
Pats
his way
down
into that
20
little
to 30.
trust circle pretty
They start
quickly
off
here.
with Sanu
Lots of
short
targets,
and then
some
Edelman
third
over the
down
middle.
catches,
Thoughts
the
on
flea
Mohamed
flicker
Sanu?
crosser, in which he was sort of the outlet guy, touchdown. I think Tom Brady's already liking the guy who he apparently lobbied to make sure he got, even though he always tells us he doesn't make those decisions.
So I love him. Like I am, you know me, Andy. I'm all about those non-explosive, steady, receivers that just get open and catch the ball. And I don't care if they make big plays or stretch a defense or anything like that. Just especially for Brady, that's the kind of player he needs. So I think he's been terrific. Just what they need. I love Manny Sanders. So, but
I think
Mohamed Sanu's going to do. I mean, I think Emmanuel Sanders is more explosive.
East Coast, West Coast story going on with Brady, Garoppolo. Niners D, Patriots D, undefeated. Niners D looked like crap the other night. Garoppolo steps up, has his best game of the season. Manny Sanders trade edition looks really good. Sanu, I think there's an interesting storyline. Oh boy.
Brady throws just behind Sanu, I think there. Almost gets taken back by 57. So you mentioned this up-tempo offense, tremendous. Tremendous. I had to see there as a bad ball by Brady. So I had to watch the Packers today go in and sleepwalk into LA and never adjust and never sort of change the tempo of the game. Like they just don't have it in them. And the Patriots recognized immediately that they had to attack. And I thought just the ability to go no huddle, and they totally gassed Baltimore on that touchdown drive. And maybe are going to gas them here. I think
that was the biggest adjustment in the game because the offense looked inept early. Looked like they weren't going to be able to get out of their own way. And you're right. The Packers didn't find a way to jumpstart themselves. And we've seen Josh do this plenty of times over the years. And this is one of his go-tos, obviously. All right, we're struggling. A couple 3-and-outs. Let's go tempo.
So
I would look for
Julian
here. Edelman.
What do you think, Andy?
Tom always looks for.
Yep. It's
and
amazing.
They're going to double
climb the pocket, Julian Edelman over
the middle. And he finds a way to get open.
Right.
That's a.
So that I hate. Those are.
Ooh.
Boy. So the Chuck and Prayer.
Yes, it is.
Brady bomb.
Although
is sort of
Paul calls that
signature in their losses. Okay, so Brady just throws a deep pick to Earl Thomas as they go to break. You think this is a stupid question? Serious Jeopardy here, Andy.
Oh yeah, I think that right there.
Pat's in serious
when
Jeopardy.
They're on, like you're right. In losses, that's how they end. With Brady making a play like that, I'll go all the way back to Super Bowl 42. When I was a dumbass, naive, thought they'd get the ball and march right down the field, dink and dunk, and they started chucking it to Randy Moss, and the game ended with a loss that changed history. That's another example of it right there, where he just throws it up, and then Earl Thomas gets up, by the way, to make sure it's not Lamar Jackson potential turnover inside the 10-yard line.
Okay, let's grab Josh and Haverhill. He's up on the fan line. I don't know if someone do a scientific study, but it feels like in their losses, there's a Brady pick like that in the fourth quarter.
What up, Felgy? Our bet's still on, right, baby?
Josh, what do you got?
That's right. You come on my Slapdick podcast. I come on your podcast if what? If the Ravens win this game, which I think that's going to happen. Did you underrate this defense, Felgy? From the Ravens, I think this Ravens defense has totally been underrated. And obviously, Lamar Jackson's performance can speak for itself. I think he's run all over this team for the most part.
First of all, Josh, is your podcast actually called the Slapdick Podcast? Because if it is, I'm definitely coming on. Well, we should call it that. So the Ravens D, Andy, I don't think the Ravens defense is anything special. I think Earl Thomas in a game like this is interesting. Sort of playing that Ed Reed role, and I have a lot of respect for him and the way he's played this game.
They haven't been great all year,
should I be impressed by that Ravens defense?
Babe. Marlon Humphrey, They have the potential to be good in the back end. I don't think they're going to have a great pass rush this year, but I think they have the potential to be a playmaking back end with Marcus Peters, Earl Thomas. And I give them credit. You know, we always gush over the Patriots when they have a complimentary fast start. Well, the Ravens had a complimentary fast start, right? They force a punt, they score. That's how you start a game and play from ahead, and that's how you overcome the fumble or the turnover or the muff. If you do that when you're already down 3-0 or 7-0, turn out the lights. The game's over. Brady and company cruise to victory. So the defense allowed them to get off to a complimentary fast start.
Dylan writes, if this defense gets shredded by this badly by Lamar Jackson, what's going to happen against Patrick Mahomes? Do you feel the same way?
Chiefs, because people forget it was no Tyreek Hill, then it was no Patrick Mahomes. Everybody's, oh, they look like they're not even going to make the AFC title game. No rematch, blah, blah, blah. We'll see what they are when they get healthy, because they look like they're coming together quite nicely offensively if Patrick Mahomes is healthy.
Okay. And I will say, in the Patriots' defense, there's 30 on the board, but only 23 were scored against the defense. You know, Edelman's fumble was 7. And other than that false start, what did they do? But then again, they did just drive.
Oh, yeah, that was a legit drive.
That was a clean touchdown.
They had a legit drive early. They had a legit. If you're now, I knew this was coming. I'm sure you did too. Like, this defense wasn't going to keep playing the way it was playing. That was not sustainable. And you know, by the way, the excuse of, oh, you're playing these young, crappy quarterbacks. Well, this is a young quarterback who you were supposed to see ghosts or, you know, make a bad pick like you had Mayfield do last week. So, you know, I think you also have to give Lamar Jackson credit for the performance he's put forth so far.
Get
Right, but I think that's where everybody overlooked Mark Ingram, the traditional aspect of their running game all week. When you had basically a guy who rushed for 500 yards through the first half of the season for them, averaging 4.7 yards a carry, he's done that tonight too. And then Lamar Jackson has made plays off of that. But this is Lamar Jackson's little bit of a coming out party, right? If he finishes this deal, the whole Belichick against first and second year starters and blah blah blah. I would also argue that this is a pretty good Greg Roman resume builder, the guy who led Colin Kaepernick into Foxborough, that did it with Tyrod Taylor. Now he does it with Lamar Jackson. That's pretty nice resume builder.
So,
not really. I mean, I think that's a little reactionary, but he's a quarterback on a team that's a contender in the AFC and that just knocked off the Patriots. So I guess you'd have to give him a little bit, but I'd rather see Patrick Mahomes come back healthy. And you look at a guy like Russell Wilson and what he's done. I would put way ahead of Lamar Jackson so far.
Your rights the
it was a tough spot. I mean, I think going to Baltimore is a tough spot for them. Before the bye, they played so well. You know, your guy, I heard Aaron Rodgers say maybe they were reading their press clippings. Maybe these guys were reading their press clippings a little bit with the bye on the horizon, or looking down and reading those nice T-shirts they've had printed thanks to Kyle Van Noy and everybody. So I do think there was something here, but this is just the start, right, of this little stretch of tests. I don't think this is the best team they're going to face. Do you? And then the biggest challenge for the offense.
No, but I think this and Philly were their two potential. Those were the two games that I was thinking the most about. Right. There's just something about playing in Foxborough. I thought these would be their two tough. To say, don't worry, blah, blah, blah. I think they had undefeated on their mind Because I know, that's their last piece of unfinished business. They got off to such a strong start.
Why wouldn't you want 16-0?
Maybe Brady's last
obviously
year,
we know Bill,
et cetera, things of this nature. I think that they wanted 16-0.
But maybe this is the remember Michael Gee said they should have lost the game in 07 before. Well, this is the loss. So they'll be fine. They'll go win the Super Bowl now. Yep. So 8-1.
Yeah. So 13-3, but they're 8-0 right now, right? So 5-3 down the stretch isn't that great of a finish.
You look at the 49ers.
It's a good record, but you finish 5-3.
I mean,
you feel a little
they could go
about
4-4, and that could be a good 8-game stretch for them. I mean, they have a tough schedule.
Yeah, they have losses coming for sure.
Or worse.
Andrew's in Florida. He's on the fan line. Paskins, this game ain't over. We're talking like this thing's over. The defense makes a stop here.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
It's not fun, but Brady's got to stop just chucking the ball up in the air like a balloon. Andrew in Florida will join us next. What's up, Andrew?
Absolutely terrible. He sucks and blows, and it's time to get Isaiah Wynn back just to get some normalcy back on that line. I mean, this is terrible, and it's probably part of the reason why they're losing tonight. Because Brady is getting rushed so often. Yeah.
Yep.
Andrew, you're 100% right. I think the only thing that kept Brady clean was going to hurry up and they gassed the Ravens when it was regular tempo.
Now, I think the funny thing is we don't really know how good Isaiah Wynn is. He played a game and a quarter, and you'd think you were getting Jonathan Ogden back.
I mean, anything would be welcome. It'd be a fresh face, fresh change.
Yeah, Marshall Newhouse sucks and blows. I think you said that accurately.
Andrew, thanks for checking.
There's a lot of time left.
All right, let's see. 3rd and 4. Big play here. If they can get this, it's still a ball game. It's still a ball game either way.
No.
So Landon Roberts.
Not really. And they've tweaked the personnel. Did you see Bill told Tafoya that it was all coaching in the first quarter?
I haven't really noticed them. That's the first I've noticed them.
They went big early. They added an extra defensive lineman in there. They've been mostly a 2 defensive tackle type team.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's what he was referring to, that was a bad coaching decision. They've moved. I did see Roberts a little bit on the field earlier, but yeah, that's not what you're looking for. Landon Roberts in coverage. That's a win for Greg Roman right there.
I'll tell you what. So I will give Baltimore a lot of credit for this. Tight ends, backs, throwing to those guys. Hollywood Brown got a little bit, but for the most part,
right. I think that's a combination of targeting the middle of the
That's where you attack the Patriots. The corners are good. The corners are too good. You're not going to get much on the corners. Sort of the backs and the tight ends.
They're not a very refined passing game. They get by with a couple big plays to Hollywood and a couple big plays to Mark Andrews, and that's the passing game.
So Jeff C. writes in, Dorsett has been very quiet. 1 catch, question mark. I don't know what he had.
Inactive.
Barely seen him. It's been Sanu and Edelman. And I'm sorry, is N'Keal Harry even active?
Yeah. And that's basically the same thing Bill said on our station last week.
I don't know. I don't know how keen Brady is on N'Keal Harry.
He's been on the practice field
when they asked him about him?
So, yeah. That's what he said. Like, he literally ran out of words to say about the guy. His first-round pick. His first-round wide receiver.
Okay, here's another 3rd and 7.
And that's why he'll never be a true franchise quarterback. You can't run as much as he's run and have a long career. And if you can't hit regular throws like that, you will never be consistently good. And the little stupid underhand sidearm throws. I didn't even know that was an issue. I haven't watched him enough, but wow.
Oh,
that's a call that usually goes the Patriots' way at this point in the game. That right there is a sign of this isn't your night.
No question. That's a call that goes the Patriots' way. I thought there were several signs that there. I mean, the whole way the Patriots got back in the ballgame, for crying out loud, gets the benefit of a super all the earmarkings of.
But I also give them credit. I think they contained it. There's a lot of teams that if it had started against them, even with the fumble, but the muff punt would have just crawled into a hole and died. I mean, this is a legit Patriots team. I don't think they're soft mentally or anything like that.
When the Patriots were on the board at the end of the first round, two thumbs up emoji or whatever.
I think he was on their radar. I don't think they thought he was a first-round pick because of what we just talked about, the inefficiencies in the passing game, and wow. Yeah, they've taken advantage of the linebackers quite like. There's been a lot of plays that the guy that could have changed the outcome of the play was Jamie Collins, Dante Hightower, Kyle Van Noy, the boogeymen, the heart of the defense. Yep. He's supposed. What's that? No, that was Shalik on the early. That was Shalik Calhoun. Yeah.
I never heard.
And of course, Patriots fans are complaining that the center bobbed his head and it should have been false start. That's the interpretation.
Okay, Sean says thoughts on Pat's record.
Well, we're starting it out 0-1, I think we're assuming, as we come to the 6-minute mark here. I think if you go 3-2, you're fine. Like, you just don't want to be sub 500, right? Because then people like Felger from 2 to 6 start questioning everything you're built about and where you're going. And
I'd be stunned if they.
So you can't.
I'd be stunned.
Kansas City, Philadelphia, and Houston. None of them. Yes, but if they score 40, they score 40, right? A little thing I want to touch on here while we have a timeout. Have you noticed how many times Tom Brady has anticipated the rush, seen ghosts, and thrown the ball away this year, and then had to complain to the official, no, there was a receiver right there. Endlessly. And he got nabbed for one tonight. They called one on him downfield tonight, but I feel like it's 3 times a game where he is just shying away from the rush, throwing it into the turf, and I don't know. It's a bad sign for the efficiency of the offense when you're seeing that with that regularity. And as you mentioned, who does he throw to? Like, if you cover Edelman or you slow Edelman, James White he made a couple plays tonight, set up one of the field goals, but can you get by with a slot receiver and a passing back as the core of your offense? And I'm not talking about get by in the regular season. I'm saying, Patriots get by, which means get by past the AFC title game to the Super Bowl, win the Super Bowl.
It's really getting hit.
Sure, but I think it's just symbolic of the offense. It's
and see.
Yep. Nope. The boogeymen are crawling back into the closet.
So.
What? They needed. I think they needed this. I actually don't think it's a bad thing for them. I think going into the bye, we always talk about this. Oh, the perfect Belichick game or the perfect Belichick this. This is the perfect way. Assuming he doesn't, cry for the entire 2 weeks because they're not going to go undefeated. But this is the perfect coaching tool going into the bye. You're not going to feel good about yourself going into this bye. Of course. Well, it's about to end. So we got a false start. You are well on your way. Now, most fans said a win tonight, it was over. That the number one seed was done. Everything was done. It was all wrapped up. I thought that was a little premature. I think they're getting a little ahead of themselves with the stretch of games that's coming. Who do you fall back to is more the question. Right. But you could have 3 losses. And Baltimore has 2. Baltimore's about to be 6-2. They have the tiebreaker. And I think you could have 3 losses in a couple weeks. No, they can't. Then they won't run the table. They lost to the Browns. The Browns stink. And they still play in that division where every game in that division is a slugfest, who knows what. So I think he's significantly better than Marshall Newhouse. And that's all I'll say. I'm not sure he's as good as Trent Brown or Nate Solder consistently. But he's definitely an upgrade over what you have now. And I know Scarnecchia obviously likes him more than Newhouse. You can tell that.
Will.
Yep.
Right there. Cover. They wanted
that really bothered you, huh?
Oh, fuck.
Let's get back to your Van Noy thing, though. I've heard. No, you shouldn't. But I don't really know either. I'll tell you what I think it's about. All this modern day like merchandise. They all like print their own merchandise and go to my Instagram page and order my this, and they all have it. People think it's just Edelman, it's just Brady. Freaking Sony Michel has his own line of merchandise. The guy can't even run 3 yards without falling down, and he has his own line of merchandise. Probably the Edelman. Right, but they were driving to a touchdown to take the lead, right? They would have taken the lead there. $20. Yep. No. I thought that was at the line of scrimmage, right?
No.
Was it?
Okay. So that
Yep, Andrews. And that's a little bit of the whole reputation of Harbaugh, the Ravens. They're not going to wilt. They're not going to Billy O'Brien it in the face of Belichick and the Patriots. And so give them credit for that. Go out and win the game. But either way, to me, a turnover was going to be the play of the game. It was either the Cyrus Jones muff punt, which kicked the door open to give Brady life, give the Patriots life, or the Edelman turnover.
So that's that swing there. They convert 4th and 4, score to make it 30-20, and then Brady throws. Maybe that's Line, which you can do for a couple more minutes before we get out of here, as it looks like the Patriots are going down to defeat in Baltimore for their first loss of the season.
Hey, how you doing? So I'm happy that this
how big
happened,
is this one, Matt?
You know what? No matter
buddy?
whether the Patriots are 15-1, 13-3, or 16-0 in 2007, they need to get their ass kicked, and that defense needs to actually, see a real offense in order to get any better. Because in the playoffs, we're not going to be playing the teams we've been playing so far. This streak we've been on undefeated. Who have we played? We actually played a real team and got our teeth kicked in, and I think it's going to be good for them in the end. All right, thanks.
Yeah, and this type of loss I think is good too. They were the bully all season, and they got bullied tonight. They got pushed around early. They got it run right down their throats. Whatever you want to call it, wake-up call or there's no flukiness to this game. They got their asses beat on the road, and I think Bill, like even the touchdown they just showed, the Lamar Jackson touchdown, to have a running back fake it and then knock Jamie Collins on his ass, who, Collinsworth's trying to tell me is a defensive player of the year candidate and all these things. I think they need to reset who they are. And I think this is good. I do. I think it's a positive for the second half of the season. And maybe you're big on this. Prove your mettle. Well, sometimes to prove your mettle, you need to fail a little bit.
Wait.
Because, I mean, well, I think the run defense is hideous. I think it's. Yep. Yeah, I think Frank Gore, Le'Veon Bell, Nick Chubb, Mark Ingram, they have run on you. Teams can run on you when they want to. And old school, by the way, you couldn't run on the Patriots. Why? Nothing to do with the defense, because every time Brady got it, he would score. And you would put your running game away when you were down 14, 17 points. They're not scoring at that rate anymore. So I think teams are going to be more willing to try to establish the run and run on them.
So, that are needs out.
To some degree, yeah. Yeah, I think it is. Because, my fear of a Kansas City game is about them just scoring too much that you can't keep up. Because you're right, their defense is not good, Kansas City. But your offense isn't very good right now. It ebbs and flows. Yeah, there's times when they put real nice drives together, but can they do it clutch, need a play? And that goes back to Gronkowski, which, by the way, you see the report today? Florio's going with 20% chance. I think that's Rosenhaus and them just keeping his name out there and playing the game. I thought he was pretty definitive when he said no on the Greg Hill show that day. But, I mean, they need that. I still think they lack a playmaker because your big trade deadline addition is a nice player, is a nice little player, as you would say. I mean, he's fine. And you're getting your ass kicked, right? Is he a game changer? No, I can tell you the answer is no, because every game of his career, he's lined up next to actual game changers named A.J. Green or Julio Jones or Calvin Ridley. He's always been Robin. And now suddenly people think he's going to develop into Batman in New England. He's a good pickup, but when the season's on the line in the AFC title game or in the Super Bowl or something like that, is he a guy that can go just beat a corner, make a play, and you go, whew, that's why we got him. That's why we gave up the 2. Nope. And that's not just on Brady, though, either. Because he doesn't, I mean, he probably does to some degree, but he shouldn't control the personnel groupings and the playing time. And Jacoby Myers, who had, 9 straight catches at that one point, 2-game span when they needed him, that should be McDaniels. Remember how much McDaniels force-fed Brandon Lloyd and Chad Ochocinco? Because we're going to need him, and we need to – well, why can't you do that with Jacoby Myers and say, listen, this guy's a good young receiver. We're probably going to need him in January and late December. But because Sanu arrives, you have to just forget about him.
Greatest
How's it going?
Belger Mazin turn by far.
So I think
one of the best in the history
the
of the
biggest
medium.
thing to me that stood out was, first of all, from a fan perspective, this is disappointing because since 2007, you've wanted to avenge that, and that feels like the last big thing, that Belichick and Brady haven't yet done. Obviously, it's a huge hurdle and a huge accomplishment, but it's disappointing to come in and get stomped like we did tonight. But I guess if you're trying to look at potential, reasons and things to take away from this game, I think the biggest thing is the Ravens came in and played like the Patriots should have played. The Patriots were making all these uncharacteristic mistakes, pre-snap penalties galore. I mean, you take away some of those penalties, especially in the first half of the football game when they go down 17-0, and they're not in the hole they're in going into the second half, even though they scored 13 unanswered going into the half. So I think that combined with what's the other thing we know about the Patriots? Red zone defense. Ravens, I think, were 4 for 4 in the red zone tonight. What's the other thing? They don't turn the ball over. Julian Edelman, fumble, recovery for a touchdown. So the Patriots didn't play like the Patriots tonight, and the Ravens came in and did exactly what the Patriots did in the AFC Championship game, was take the ball first and drive down the field for 8 or 9 minutes and just assert themselves right in the beginning of the game. And I think Lamar is legit. I really do. I don't think this is sort of like a fluke with the defense, but it's definitely going to be a period of reevaluation, and the bye week right before the bye is the best time for this to happen, if there's a good time for it to happen.
Okay, Tucker, I want some stats from you this week. I want some stats from you this week on
legitimate
what the Patriots. Don't the Patriots usually kick the shit out of running quarterbacks? Aren't there stats out there about them versus running quarterbacks?
Foxborough and beating the Patriots in prime time. Yep. So good running quarterbacks who can also throw the ball, which I think we saw tonight. Lamar is not a one-trick pony, and he can throw the ball. He can put the ball in space, but it really is just his mobility. I don't know about, I'm trying to, rack my brain for other examples of running quarterbacks whom they've faced, because the most recent example I can think of is Kaepernick, and Kaepernick threw the ball like a paint can. So not to say that they can't do it, but then you look at the 2014 Super Bowl when they played Seattle, and they did a really good job of containing him, especially in the second half. So I would say mixed results, but I think Lamar Jackson's probably the best dual threat quarterback the NFL has seen since Mike Vick. But that's just my opinion.
So I agree with much of what he said. The only question is this an aberration, or is this a quality of competition result?
All right. Thanks for checking in. I appreciate it.
Like, you credit the Ravens for everything they forced you into and everything they did to you, getting off to the fast start, both sides, all of that? Or do you just say, you'd played so well for 8 straight weeks, it's the NFL, at some point you're going to have one of these stinkers?
Yeah. And, I keep going back to fatal flaw, or at least future opponents going to school. I mean, Deshaun Watson can move, and Carson Wentz can move, and Patrick Mahomes can move. No one runs like this, but those guys can all extend plays, get out, etc. They can all those coaches can call quarterback draws, quarterback
and they all can throw the ball better than Lamar Jackson, more consistently.
They can all do it. I mean, I don't know. Were they running straight RPOs tonight? Billy's going to do that, right?
So, yeah, I still think there's a lot to be learned about this Patriots defense, and I think this was the come back to reality and put away the 85 Bears and the 2000 and just worry about being good enough. Just worry about being good enough to win games and be good enough with the offense to compete for a Super Bowl. I wouldn't say that. I thought they got pushed around. Now, Bill,
one final thing. Were they out-coached tonight there?
Quarter that he's lamenting. I don't think it was a dumb idea what they did to come out with an extra defensive lineman, be a little more stout up front, because I think you're going against the number 1 rushing attack in the NFL. And as I said, it's not just Lamar. It's Mark Ingram, traditional run-up-the-middle running attack. So I don't think it was that dumb to try that. And I think they made a nice coaching adjustment with the tempo and some of the things that McDaniels did to jumpstart the offense when they were struggling. So I wouldn't say they necessarily got out coached. No.
Okay. I think we're going to shut it down here. I just want to take a look. I think Baltimore's going to take a couple knees here. I don't know how many timeouts the Patriots have, but the Patriots have the ball.
Yep. Jake Bailey punted. Baltimore ball with 1:03 to go.
Who just punted down there?
My pleasure. Talk to you.
Sure. Shut it down. Andy, thanks for doing it. We appreciate it.
See ya.
Okay, everybody out there. See you in 2 weeks for what's next? Philly, at Philly on a Sunday afternoon. We'll see everybody then. Bye, Andy.